Assalamualaikum, my name is Mohd bin Hazis. So I will define about the cost cutting. So cost cutting is a tactic used by companies to lower their expenditures and boost their bottom line. Businesses may boost earnings and improve their competitiveness in the individual markets by carefully examining and then lowering expenses related to manufacturing, distribution, administration, and other parts of the firm. With cost cutting, your ability to enhance your company financial performance will be aided by your awareness of this. We define cost reduction and discuss its causes in this post. So additionally, we give you with advice on how to successfully decrease expenses and detail how to create an efficient cost cutting plan. Cost cutting may occur when a business is having a financial issues. This could happen if the business is struggling to pay bills or is in danger of going out of business. When this occurs, cost cutting measure may be able to prevent the business from going any lower or closing altogether. NPM was created in reaction to the idea that traditional government agencies were frequently slow, ineffective, and unaccountable. The goal of NPM is to make public services more adaptable, cost-effective, and customer-focused. New public management represents a paradigm shift from traditional public administration. NPM transforms a strict, hierarchical, disciplined bureaucracy that must strengthen and improve a deficient public administration into a citizen-friendly one, despite the fact that principles are features. However, some of the aspects of the new public management from the principles mentioned earlier have been highlighted for convenience. One of the features is cost cutting, and income increase are made possible. Governmental sectors are primarily contracted out in order to lower costs and ensure that the government receives the highest possible revenue. Thank you.
A very good morning, my name is Marsheila, and right now I will be explaining regarding the issue in our case study. In administering a public administration or a government, especially in today's world, cost cutting is required in order for the government to function well and run smoothly. Additionally, cost cutting is essential for a government to perform in order to overcome any issues that exist in the administration due to several problems that eventually will lead to other massive problems that indeed will affect the government in administering the country for the purpose of providing public welfare towards the citizen. One of the greatest issues that had led to the cost cutting to be taken into action is the high debt that exists in the government. Generally, government debt can be referred as federal government loans from sources inside and outside the country, such as project loans, supplier credit, and international financial funds, and treasury bills. Based on an estimated fiscal deficit of 95 billion and sluggish economic growth potential, a study stated that the debt level to rise slightly to 61.4% of GDP in 2023 in a review of the 2023 budget, which remains geared towards moderate expansion. Aside from that, statutory debt is expected to remain below the 65% threshold, and the federal government debt is expected to remain at 1,079.6 billion or 60.4% of GDP until the end of 2022. This is due to the reason where government are under more pressure compared to before due to severe budget constraint, especially after the outbreak of COVID-19. Thus, if the national debt rate keeps increasing more rapidly than GDP growth, it constitutes trigger for concern and it could negatively impact economic performance. It is followed by transfers that are economically inefficient. More importantly, this transfer can trigger financial distress behavior, which can significantly undermine subsequent growth. On the other hand, an economic downturn is one of the factors that contribute to cost cutting as a means of improving economic growth. In general, an unstable economic scenario is one in which the country's economy is experiencing a recession or an unhealthy expansion accompanied by an increase in the price level. As a result of price fluctuation, unemployment rises and the economy produces less output. Aside from that, this instability is associated with a deviation in the economy from its state of equilibrium, which frequently causes market imbalances. Subsequently important, the impact of the pandemic also played a crucial role into the economy instability until cost-cutting need to be adapted as one of the measures to solve the government economic problem. This is due to the irregular ventures that fail to function at normal levels when numerous companies have suffered losses and are unable to continue their operation. Next, inflation is also one of the issues that contribute to the cost-cutting to be taken into action. Mainly, inflation can be characterized as a reduction of a particular currency's purchasing power over the course of time, where a quantitative estimate of the rate at which the decline in purchasing power occurs and can be reflected in an increase in an economy's average price level of a variety of selected goods and services over some period of time. As a result, the economic condition will face a hardship due to the reason where citizens are not able to do a purchase, and it will eventually lead to the export prices to rise faster than import prices, the deterioration of balance of payment, as well as the downturn of the foreign investment. Therefore, cost-cutting became the initiative to be taken into hand as a start to handle this issue, as the spending less money on commodities and expenditures provides additional funds available for reinvestment or debt repayment. I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Shumaila Balasius, and I will talk about the causes of the issues that were mentioned by the previous presenter. The government administration in Malaysia has been performing its duties to serve the public for years. It has encouraged the government to develop a strategy to balance the issues that arise in the administration of our country. Cost-cutting is a measure taken by the government for administration in this country. In general, cost-cutting is done to reduce government spending and at the same time improve the quality of administrative services in Malaysia. The first cause is the issue of cost-cutting in public administration, where the growing amount of money borrowed contributes to growth of the national debt. In general, it is certain that developing countries will tend to face significant budget constraints. Therefore, tax collection and tax revenue do not meet the planned standards, causing tax revenue collected to be less than government spending. Basically, borrowing either from local capital or the international capital market. This is what causes existing loans in our country to increase. Other than that, since the COVID-19 pandemic hit our country, the economy in Malaysia has been affected due to temporary lockdowns and social distancing intended to stop the disease's spread. It not only has an impact on human health but also disturbs economic activity. COVID-19 pandemic has to varying degrees and an impact on Malaysia's economic output. The government reduced the cost of spending in public administration system due to the occurrence of critical financial problems, where the government or company is in danger of going bankrupt, or the government will continue to struggle to cover the increasing national expenditure and the debt is also increasing. The Malaysian ringgit's MYR depreciation and the country's declining GDP are further factors. Other causes that affect the issue of inflation lead to cost-cutting in public administration in our country in terms of, according to Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli, the rise in the prices of the prepared foods and beverages in restaurants and hotels, which is the primary cause of inflation. Following the introduction of the Goods and Services Tax, or GST, by the government, the issue of inflation in Malaysia grew to become increasingly controversial. Malaysians themselves feel that the implementation of GST will have a negative effect, causing inflation to be worsened because our country is very dependent on domestic consumption.
Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Hadzmi bin Heliven. So I will explain the solution and recommendation for cost cutting in public administration in Malaysia. First solution is privatization. Malaysia has a lot of state-owned enterprises which are often inefficient and ineffective in providing services. Privatization can help reduce the burden of public debt and improve the quality of services. In many advanced economies, privatization has been used as a means of increasing efficiency and lowering costs. Then, the performance-based budgeting. It involves linking the allocation of funds to the achievement of specific performance goals and objectives. This approach has been used extensively in developed countries like the USA, UK, and Australia, and has proved to be effective in reducing costs and increasing efficiency. Other than that is decentralization. Decentralization refers to the transfer of power, resources, and decision-making to lower levels of government. Decentralization can help reduce government bureaucracy, increase accountability, and improve service delivery. Malaysia has already implemented some decentralization initiatives, but more can be done to make it more effective. Next is performance management. Performance management involves measuring and analyzing performance to improve outcomes. This approach can be used to identify areas for improvement and reduce waste and inefficiency. Malaysia has a performance management system in place, but it needs to be more effectively implemented and monitored. Lastly is e-government. It involves using information and communication technologies to improve the delivery of public services. This approach can help reduce costs, increase efficiency, and improve service delivery. Malaysia has already implemented some e-government initiatives, but more can be done to make it more effective and comprehensive. In conclusion, cost-cutting measures in the public administration sector are crucial for Malaysia to address its current challenges of high debt, economic downturn, and inflation. The new public management approach provides several solutions and recommendations that can help achieve cost efficiency and effectiveness in the public sector. Privatization, performance-based budgeting, decentralization, performance management, and e-government are key strategies outlined in this paper that could assist Malaysia in achieving better economy. For example, privatization can improve the quality of services and reduce the burden of public debt. Performance-based budgeting can link the allocation of funds to specific goals and objectives, thus reducing waste and inefficiency. Decentralization can increase accountability and service delivery, while performance management can help identify areas for improvement. Finally, e-government can enhance service delivery, increase efficiency, and reduce costs. However, effective implementation of these strategies requires commitments and support from the government, public sector employees, and citizens. To achieve the desired outcomes, the government must enact appropriate policies and procedures, allocate adequate resources, and provide training and education to public sector employees. It is also crucial to involve citizens in decision-making processes, particularly through consultation on policies and programs. It is evident that the NPM approach can help Malaysia achieve cost efficiency and effectiveness in the public administration sector. With commitment and support, the implementation of these strategies can create a long-term positive impact on the country's economic growth and development. As such, the government must prioritize and act on these recommendations to address the current economic challenges and prepare the country for future success.